So long as you're starting with high quality beef, cooking a good steak is as easy as throwing it on the grill or searing it in a hot skillet. But if you want perfect steak, and I'm talking steak with a rich, brown, crackling crust and a medium rare core that extends all the way from edge to edge, then you need to take your technique to the next level. Now, traditional methods like broiling, grilling, or searing in a skillet leave you with one problem. Your steak develops a temperature gradient inside it. So while the very center of the meat might be a perfect medium rare, as you move towards the outer layers, it becomes more and more cooked until you reach the edges, which have the dry, chewy texture of well-done meat. So the question is, how do you minimize the temperature? Here's the thing, the more gently you cook your food, the smaller that temperature gradient inside is going to be. So for instance, if you cook a steak in a 500-degree oven, you're going to develop a pretty thick band of gray meat inside. Cook that same steak in a 250-degree oven, and that gray band shrinks significantly. You may have heard of a concept called sous vide cooking. The idea here is to take that low-temperature cooking to the extreme. With sous vide cooking, you place your steak inside a sealed plastic bag, and then put that plastic bag in a water bath held at the exact temperature that you want your steak to stay at, say 130 degrees for medium rare. About 45 minutes later, you take your steak out of that bag, and it's perfectly evenly cooked from edge to edge, with no temperature gradient and no danger of overcooking. The problem is that sous vide equipment is really expensive. But there's an alternative. A regular old $30 beer cooler. Even though a cooler is designed to keep cool things cool, it's equally good at keeping hot things hot. So all you've got to do is fill it up with hot water, adjust the temperature with boiling water or cold water, and then place your bag meat inside it to cook. So long as you start a few degrees higher in order to compensate for the heat loss when you add your meat, it should be able to maintain its temperature for the 45 minutes required to cook most steaks, pork chops, lamb chops, chicken, or fish. You can cook your meat either in a cryovac style bag or in a regular heavy duty Ziploc bag. In order to get the air out of the Ziploc bag, put your meat inside it, zip it up most of the way, and then slowly lower the cold water, sealing it just as the air comes out. You've probably noticed one glaring problem. Your steak develops no crust or color. You're going to have to add this after it cooks out of the oven. Now you can do this on a grill if you want to cook outside, but my personal favorite way is to finish it in a cast iron skillet. Just heat up some oil over the highest possible heat while you carefully dry the outside of the steak in order to help it brown faster. Season the steak generously with salt and pepper, and once the oil starts smoking, add the steak to the pan along with a couple of pats. Cook the steak just until it's browned on both sides, about a minute or two, and then to finish it off, hold it up vertically with tongs in order to get the edges. The beauty of this method is total flexibility in terms of timing. Once your steak comes up to temperature inside the cooler, you can let it sit there for a few hours longer without worrying that it's going to overcook. The steak is going to be hot and ready to sear as soon as you're ready to eat. You want to up your game even further? Get yourself one of these guys. By combining the intense heat of a propane torch with a cast iron skillet, you can get a steakhouse quality char in a matter of moments. Just make sure that you shut off your smoking technique. It may take a little bit more time, but if you're willing to put in the effort, this is the best quality steak you can get.
Hey y'all, it's Tammy with Collard Valley Cooks. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious beef shank. We got two pretty ones. I'm going to go ahead and put some kosher salt on them first. Before you sear your meat, go ahead and make sure that it's been sitting out at least an hour so that it gets close to room temperature. Now, beef shank's not always available at your grocer. We shop at Ingles and they have them quite a bit, and so does Food Depot. So if you see some, try to pick them up. Now, these are beautiful ones. They're nice and big. Lots of times when you get them, they hardly have any meat on them. So, I mean, I wouldn't waste my money on them unless they look pretty and they got a lot of meat on them. Just wait until they get some that's worth, you know, your time and effort, okay? So So we're going to let this heat up and we're gonna sear these on both sides and put a little olive oil down in our pot. And it's easier just to go ahead and sear them in the pot you're gonna make them in. I'm gonna do them separate, so I'll do one and then I'll do the next one. So we're gonna let this sit in here and get nice and brown. It'll take a few minutes and it needs to be up on a high heat. Okay, since that one bulged out, it's getting seared real good. I'm gonna take this fat band and I'm gonna cut it in half so that the meat can lay down on the bottom of the pan while it's searing. I'll go ahead and let this one be browning on the side while that one lays flat on the bottom. We'll put it over. Now, you are going to take some fresh rosemary, some sage. We have it growing out in the yard, which is nice. I've got some garlic, and I'm just going to slice it through a little bit. I have peeled and chopped, large chop carrot. The same goes for my onion. Now we also have a red bell pepper. We like the taste of the red. And some celery. Make sure you wash and clean your vegetables and get them prepped and ready so that you're going to make this beef shank taste unbelievable. So this is our rosemary and garlic. Here's an onion. The bell pepper and celery. And now we're going to cover it with water. I'm going to bring it over to the sink. I have a stainless steel sink, so I can put it on my sink. Oh, it smells so good. That rosemary and that sage will make all the difference in the world. So if you can get some fresh, if you don't grow it, try to get some at the grocery store, and if you can't, that's fine too. But it does smell so good in here. You can substitute, one of them for another herb if you've got it. We're going to cover this good with water. Put it back on the stove. And we are going to simmer this all day. I'm going to put a nice lid on it. Okay, so we've got it covered with water. We've got it on an eye. It is on a lower medium. You're not going to want to turn it up high. You never want to cook any kind of beef at a high temperature quick where it makes it tough. Slow and low. It makes it taste the best, okay? So put this on the stove and we're gonna let it simmer in here for a couple of hours and we're gonna put the lid on it. We've got a good bit of broth. I'm gonna save the good stuff in here. Just a little later because I want the carrots and the onion. We're going to pour this broth over into here. And we're going to cook this down until it reduces down and makes a gravy. Okay, we're going to leave that on about medium until it reduces. Alright, you can see we're boiling it good. And we're going to cook it like this until it's completely reduced and there's just a nice gravy left in the bottom of the pot. Okay, after it's cooked all the way down, we're going to flip it over. You can see that nice glaze on the bottom of the pan. We're going to add the rest of the broth and do the same thing to this side of the shank as well. You can go ahead and add the rest of your vegetables in here as well. Okay, you can see the shank and how delicious it looks and how caramelized that is in the bottom. It's all the pieces. That's the way we like it. Got a couple of nice bones for your dog in here too. We'll turn it off before it gets too brown. But you can see in the bottom how nice it looks. So, put some on the plate for you. All right, let's give it a taste. You can see that it's falling apart done. Delish.
My best friend and her daughter, they've already ate the shake and all the other stuff is still waiting. They ate the whole plate though, and then they got so full they were almost sick.
Thanks for watching Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook like Mama did.